Welcome to the deep dive. Today we're plunging right into the DappRadar May 2025 Dapp Industry Report. Got this pretty detailed report here, and basically our mission is to pull out the really important stuff, the key insights, maybe some surprising facts, to get a handle on what's shifting in Web3.
Exactly. It's a great snapshot. And what jumps out, I think, is that May, well, it looks like more than just hype. The report suggests some real momentum building, and we're seeing like a pivot away from pure speculation.
Yeah, definitely seems that way. And towards more foundational stuff. We're talking DeFi looking stronger, NFTs maybe finding their feet again, and this big one, AI dApps, really stepping up.
Right. AI is becoming a major player alongside the others. So let's dive into the numbers and trends the report lays out.
Okay, so that macro view first. The report really paints May as a potential comeback month. Daily active wallets, that's a key metric they use.
And it saw a pretty significant jump, didn't it?
It did. 25 million daily active wallets reported for May. That's up 8% from April. But what really caught my eye, the report notes this is the highest count since, well, the last bull run peak.
Wow. Okay. That's substantial. That signals maybe users are genuinely coming back.
Could be. And then there's the money side, total value locked in DeFi TVL.
Also a healthy surge there, according to the report.
Healthy is maybe an understatement. $200 billion, that's a 25% increase from April. Massive.
Okay, but the report does acknowledge Ethereum's price jump helped, right? Like 40%?
Oh, for sure. That definitely propped up the number. But it also flags, one specific new player driving a huge chunk of that growth. We should get into that.
Definitely. And NFTs. Often written off, but the report suggests maybe signs of life.
Yeah, trading volume hit $280 million. That's up 40% month over month. Still way off the crazy peaks, obviously, but the direction is interesting.
Right. Renewed interest, maybe. And connecting back to AI.
Yeah.
The user numbers or something else.
Exploded is the word the report almost uses, yeah. Decentralized AI apps.
The numbers are pretty stark. 4.8 million users in May. That's up 23% in just 1 month for that category.
So putting that together, the report's kind of arguing May's momentum wasn't just speculation. It seems like real movement of users and value into these core areas, including AI.
Seems that way. So let's zoom in a bit. You mentioned DeFi and that new player.
Yeah, the report points straight at Hyperliquid.
Hyperliquid. Okay, what did the report say about their volume?
Get this. $244 billion in trading volume in May alone.
Billion. With a B.
Yep. The report puts that in perspective, says it's like 10% of Binance's volume, which is just huge for a newer platform. It apparently pushed them into the top 10 by TVL across all blockchains.
Okay, so definitely a major disruptor showing up fast. That shows how quickly DeFi can change.
It really does. And it wasn't just new platforms. The report mentioned core stuff, too, like Ethereum's Pectra upgrade.
Right, Pectra. The report highlights two things, account abstraction and bumping the validator reward cap.
Account abstraction. Sounds technical. The simple version.
Basically, the report suggests it's about making crypto accounts feel more like normal app accounts. Easier to use, potentially enabling more complex stuff down the line.
Okay, simpler UX. And the reward cap to 2048 ETH.
Yeah, that's a big deal for institutional staking, the report implies. Makes it potentially much more attractive for bigger players, like funds or corporations, to become validators and earn yield.
Laying groundwork for bigger players. Interesting. The report also touched on regulation, right? Seems like a factor in May.
It did. Mentioned progress on a few fronts. The U.S. Genius Act for stablecoins, then Ripple launching a Euro stablecoin that's MiCA compliant. That's the big European regulation.
MiCA compliant. Okay. So companies actively trying to fit into these new frameworks.
Exactly. And South Korea possibly looking at crypto ETFs. The report frames these not just as hurdles, but as signs of the industry trying to mature and integrate.
Makes sense. Okay, let's swing back to AI, because that user growth was wild, but what else did the report highlight there?
Well, beyond the numbers, it pointed to specific projects. SubHub from Dmail. The report describes it as using wallet-based targeting plus AI messaging. So like smarter, less spammy outreach within Web3 based on actual on-chain activity.
Using AI for better communication, potentially. Interesting angle. But the real kicker seemed to be that Harris poll the report cited.
Oh, yeah, that was eye-opening. The poll found, and the report emphasizes this, 77% of Americans prefer decentralized AI over centralized models.
77%. That's huge. That's not just tech people. That's a broad public sentiment.
It really is. It signals this underlying demand, maybe about trust, data control, privacy, things Web3 AI dApps might be positioned to address.
A demand for what Web3 could offer. And the report listed other things too, right? Like Tether getting into AI.
Yeah, Tether's move, Donut Labs raising $7 million for a Web3 browser, developments in open source agents. The report suggests these aren't isolated. It's like the agent economy, AI agents interacting on decentralized networks is actually starting to form.
Okay, fascinating stuff on AI. Let's quickly touch on NFTs again. Volume up, Ethereum back on top. What else?
Well, there's that one project, Abstract, with the crazy 1,200% volume spike.
1,200%. Why? Just sudden massive interest?
Not exactly. The report adds crucial context there. It says it was mostly driven by airdrop farmers.
Ah, people grinding transactions, hoping for free tokens later.
Precisely. So the volume number looks amazing, but the report clarifies the motivation. Important distinction. Not necessarily pure demand for the NFTs themselves.
Right, context is key. Good base, the report included that. It also mentioned art NFTs making a comeback, like Good Vibes Club, and domain NFTs on Telegram growing.
Yeah, showing some diversification beyond just PFPs towards utility and art. And the big news, maybe, was Apple dropping that 30% tax on in-app NFT sales.
Oh yeah, that felt like a long time coming. That could be huge for mobile access, right?
The report definitely implies that, removing a major barrier, potentially opening things up to way more people through their phones.
Okay, so lots of positive signs, growth, interesting developments. But the report didn't ignore the bad stuff. Security was a big issue in May.
A very big issue. The report puts a really stark number on it. Over $275 million lost to exploits in May.
Oof. $275 million. That kind of puts a damper on the growth narrative. And wasn't most of that from one incident?
Sadly, yes. The report specifically names the CEDAS protocol, getting hit for $260 million of that total. One exploit.
Wow. $260 million. That just, it highlights the vulnerability, doesn't it?
It absolutely does. And it creates this real tension the report brings out. You have all this positive momentum, innovation, user growth.
Yeah. DeFi looking strong, AI taking off, NFTs recovering.
Right. But then you have these massive recurring security failures just wiping out huge amounts of value and eroding trust. The report including this isn't just listing bad news, it's highlighting a fundamental problem. Can the industry really grow long-term if this keeps happening?
It feels like the core challenge overshadowing everything else positive in the report.
It really does. It underscores the urgent need for better security, audits, risk management. It's not optional.
Okay, let's try and wrap this up. Summarizing the key takeaways from this specific report, the DappRadar May 2025 report.
Okay, so first, May showed real momentum. Seems like more than just hype. Second, a noticeable shift away from pure speculation towards, more fundamental growth areas.
Third, AI dApps really emerged as a major force. Huge user growth, interesting applications, and tapping into that public preference for decentralized AI that the poll highlighted.
Fourth, DeFi showed strong signs of recovery. Hyperliquid made massive waves, and core upgrades like Pectra seemed geared towards broader adoption.
Fifth, NFT markets showed recovery signs too. Broader interest, maybe helped by things like Apple changing its policy. And finally, overall user activity, those daily active wallets increasing and diversifying across these areas.
And just to stress again, all this is based only on what's in the DappRadar May 2025 report. That's the picture it paints.
Right. So here's that final thought for you, based on everything the report laid out. We see these clear signs of growth and innovation in May DeFi, AI especially, but we also see that massive $275 million lost to security exploits. So can the industry actually fix this fundamental trust issue? Can it tackle security effectively enough to sustain the positive momentum shown in this report and actually build long-term confidence?
Or will security remain the big roadblock, holding back adoption despite all the cool tech progress?
Something to mull over. Think about that tension as you maybe explore these areas further, based just on the insights from this report. Thanks for joining us for this deep dive.
Keep exploring. Keep learning.